This is your favorite machine to work at, huh?
I hate this machine. I hate it so much, dude. They put the fuse panel on the computer under your feet in the new Bobcat. So all the dirt, all the moisture, all the you pick up when you're driving across the job site sits right in the bottom of that belly pan and just soaks into that computer and just shorts everything up. Not this one.
What are you gonna do in this machine specifically?
I'm gonna rebuild these 2 lift cylinders. I'm gonna fix this big diesel leak on the front of the high pressure fuel pump, because when we put this motor in, we had to have this plate built because the place we bought the turnkey motor from had the wrong plate, so it didn't fit with the adapter, or it didn't fit with like all this. But it's leaking air. The seal is bad, so like you can see all the fuel on the front. So when you run the machine wide open or you run it under load, the pump starts to cavitate, or it starts to grab air, and then it just loses power. It runs like shit. Oh, and then these cylinders we got to rebuild because they're leaking. You see all this shit built up, all this hydraulic oil on the front, and then up here, there's a sign of it leaking. So they've been complaining about this thing losing oil over a period of like a few days after run. It's not a lot, but it's probably our call. So this one too, we got to change the oil. We're gonna do like an engine service, which you should do. It depends on the manufacturer, but you should change the oil every 500 hours. When this machine came in initially a couple years ago, the motor was totally blown. Like the turbo was leaking oil into it, and it went full runaway. So found a place out of Buffalo that sold us this motor completely turnkey. So literally all we had to do was swap the accessories to it and drop it in the machine. But that was about 200 hours ago, so we're just gonna go ahead and change the oil now because we're thinking about it. I hate this machine. I hate it so much. I've lost so much money on this thing. I hate it. I hate it. My shirt up there, I got soaked in gas today.
Sounds like a good day.
It went in my mouth. It tasted awful for a while. Oh my god. It's hand tight. The worst is when that happens, but like the filter's tucked up in the frame somewhere, so you can't get a fucking wrench on it. My day, and Sundays is Jesus' day.
And what is that?
This? Primary air filter. You write the hours on it and when you changed it. So that way, when I come back, like a year later, there's a problem and they try to say, oh, I don't know what happened. And you look at the oil filter and the fuel filter and they're from 3 years ago and 2,000 hours before. You know exactly what the issue is. All this here, all this oil and buildup, it's from the diesel leaking out of it and like dirt and shit catching it.